Hi, everybody. This is Leslie Kuster, and welcome to She Rises, another episode. And we are live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn, and that is so cool. That's why I love StreamYard so much. I am the best-selling author of Seven Keys to Seven Figures, the Women Entrepreneur's Guide to Money and Freedom. And I wrote the book because I brought my business, which is called Back from Bali, from five figures to multiple seven figures. And I wanted to share with other women entrepreneurs exactly how that's done. So definitely do check that out. Happy New Year. This is our new year, which is really exciting. I'm so happy. Personally, 2023 has shifted. I had a lot of challenges in business and in health, and would love to hear from you as well how your year was. One of the things that's really important to do at this time of year is to really set your intentions for the year. And I suggest that you write down what those intentions are for your business, for your personal life as well, because without writing them down, without really focusing on them, without knowing what they are, nothing really happens, or it just happens by chance, and we don't want that. We want a life where we actually create our life, we create our wealth, we create our happiness, and we need to know what it is that we want. So definitely for the New Year's, go and do that. So today we have a wonderful guest. Vickie Poole is with us. She is a certified coach and life health coach. She is a master transformational coach, a hypnotist, an author, a podcaster, and speaker. And her business is called The Enlightened Peach, where she helps women stop dieting and start eating. And that is something that is really close to my heart too, because I am such a believer in not dieting. So I can't wait to hear more from Vickie about all of that. So with that, we're going to bring on Vickie. Hi, Vickie. Welcome to She Rises.
Hi, Leslie. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited you're here. So, the show here is for women entrepreneurs. And I know that's actually something you have been for a very long time. And you are now really focusing on coaching and really helping women around the food issue and the dieting issue, which is such a big issue, isn't it? So many women suffer with this, men suffer with it as well. So, can you tell us what was the impetus? Like, why in the world did you not only want to be a coach, but specifically you wanted to really focus on the dieting and the issues around dieting?
Oh, definitely. I will. I have been a yo yo dieter my entire life and gaining and losing weight and just over and over and over again. And I finally got to a point where I said, I'm so tired of doing this. I've either got to make peace with being fat or I've got to figure out a way to do something about it that stops this whole scenario of roller coaster dieting. And so I couldn't figure out really what I wanted to do. And um, I decided that maybe a health coach would be the thing, but I'm one of those all or nothing kind of people. So instead of hiring a health coach just to work with, I decided to become one because I thought if I did that, it would make me do it. And then even if I didn't use it at all, it would be so impactful for me that it was worth whatever money I put into it. And boy, was it, because it helped me tremendously. But then I realized how many other people felt just like me and didn't really know how to stop dieting because that's all I knew. You hear about it all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing, and all of the it's almost to me is like, you hear about the get rich quick schemes. Well, there's the get skinny fast schemes too,
Yep.
it's and I was just talking to someone just the other day about how I still, even though I've been doing this for quite a while, I'll still fall prey to wanting to listen to somebody that says you can lose this amount of weight in 30 days or 90 days or whatever. But my radar will go off because I know that all these people that they're showing us are great, but show me them in a year, show me
Mm.
them in 2 years, and let's just see where they're at then. Because like, people were so um crazy about the, what was it, the Biggest Loser, those
Yes.
things, because they were amazing, but they put these people through such torturous stuff, and they looked amazing at the reveal, but 2 years down the road, they, most of them were right back where they were, and so it's an epidemic.
Yeah. So what's the secret behind it? Like, so if people want to lose weight, they want to look great and they don't want to diet, like what do you do instead? And what did you discover like personally?
Well, personally, I had to lose the taboo thing of these foods are completely off limits. You can never eat them again. Because if you think about it, if I tell you do not think of a pink elephant, the first thing that's in your mind is pink elephant.
Yeah.
So when you make things taboo, that creates a lot of that craving because you've been told you'll never eat this again. I don't know how many times I sat down and had my last supper because I was starting my dinner or my diet on Monday. So for a week before, I ate everything I thought I would never get to eat again.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing. Making peace with your body, because your body's magnificent and it does everything it needs to do for you. You just have to listen. And so part of what I do is I help people to get rid of a lot of the baggage that they've got in their mind and in their bodies, by listening to their body and what really serves them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Can you give an example of that? I mean, personally, because like, by the way, that is a great idea, but to learn about health by becoming a health coach, that was like that was like the rapid method, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what were the stories you were telling yourself that you had to relearn or, or how do you listen to your body? What did you do exactly? Or what were the voices inside your head?
Okay. Well, there's some of the activities or things that I was doing, I didn't realize were because I had a need to feel, and because I was a very emotional eater. And so one of the things I was doing was I had, and it's, I'm not going to get into it because it's a really heart-wrenching story and I don't want to cry, but I had
Cry.
but I had a young child baby that was in my care. And when it came to the point that I had to start taking her to her birth mother and leaving her there and going home without her with the visitation things, it was so heart-wrenching because she would hold me and she would get in my ear and she'd say, I want to stay with you. I want to stay with you.
No.
So when I left her, I stopped by Dunkin' Donuts every friggin' time and got donuts and just wolfed them down in the car. Didn't even connect that I was leaving the sweet thing and needed some sweetness in my life. I was like I was replacing her.
Mm,
And so it's getting in touch with the habits that you are doing and figuring out what you can do instead. And so I had to, at that point, once I realized what I was doing, which took some work, I started realizing that I needed to, instead of stopping and eating the donuts, I needed to start doing some self care and showing myself some love. So I would do things like, just sitting and looking at beautiful pictures of us together and enjoying those moments. And I would do things like taking a nice bath and having some music on. And so a lot of it is learning those things. And we don't typically have on excess weight because we're in the best mental state. Where it's usually the weight is there to help guide us or protect us from something. And so it's looking at that. And then also, if you begin eating in a way that is without all the hindrance of all the different things that you're attached to or the things that you're addicted to, like sugars and those things. So I had to do a cleanse. I did a 14-day cleanse that helped me get all that stuff out of my system. And then I could tell what felt good to my body and what didn't when it wasn't being hijacked by sugar and chemicals and all these things. And
Yes.
so it's learning the little things to do to be able to listen to what your body needs.
Yeah, I love that. And and thanks for sharing your story with this little girl as well. And it's so true. We all kind of emotionally eat, don't we? And
Hmm.
even if you have a weight issue, or even if you don't have a weight issue, we all tend to like soothe ourselves with, this delicious food that we need to self nurture. So when you work with somebody, then you kind of identify the emotions behind it, right? And then you
Right.
also help them. It sounds like it's not so food focused, or is it food focused?
Food is part of it, but
Mhm.
it begins with, and I will say each person's an individual. So I have a client I'm working with right now. We started off with the cleanse because they were so addicted to sugars and it was a replacement for something else they'd been addicted to.
Yeah.
And so it was like we had to jump in there real quick and take care of that. Some people, it becomes, let's just figure out, what's going on right now. When was the last time you remember being the weight that you thought was the best for you? And
Yeah.
how did you feel then? Did you feel like you were still fat? Because when I looked back at mine, at the weight that I really wanted to be at, I still thought I was fat. I had all these thoughts and feelings that were the same. And so it's like figuring out then, okay, so you still felt fat then, so let's go back a little bit further. And so it becomes for each person, it's something else.
Oh, I love that. And again, it really goes to mindset, doesn't it? It goes
Oh
to
yeah.
mindset and what the thoughts in our head. I mean, as like a business owner, this is how I was able to improve my business was, of course, like there were this reason and this reason and this reason and all these things that I did. But ultimately, the main thing that I did, the main thing that I changed that brought my business from 5 figures to multiple seven was everything that I was thinking about.
Oh
And
yeah.
people often say, oh, it's not possible, it can't be that much, but it's really night and day. So in our lives, no matter if we're looking to improve our health and all of that, improve our business, improve our money, improve our relationships, whatever, it really starts with the thoughts that are in our heads and understanding what they are, which is why it's so helpful to work with somebody like you, Vickie, who help you really like understand that those thoughts aren't really true. You're kind of working on automatic, right?
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that one of the things that I explain to my clients too, and you've probably heard this before, it's not new to me. I mean, I'm not the one that thought of this, so but it's what I share is that we have a thermostat. So it's like the thermostat in our house, and it's not only with our weight, but it's with our finances and our relationships. We have a thermostat where if you set your thermostat at 65 degrees and it's hot as Hades outside and you open the window, it's going to get hot, but the temperature, your thermostat, your air conditioner is going to kick on and bring it right back down to 65, no matter what you do. And then in the opposite, if it's really, really cold outside and you open those windows, the temperature is going to drop, but it's going to bring it back up to that temperature you've got it set on. And so we
Mhm.
actually have a thermostat of what we think is our normal base. So if
Mhm.
you've been 200 pounds for the last 5 years, your base is 200 pounds, and you can lose down to 150 and you can make it and you can do it. But then if you haven't done something mentally to change that base, it's
Yeah.
going to go back up to 200 and it's going to add a little bit more to it. And the same with your finances and everything. There is a base that it's everything you think is your normal that you can fight and you can do things against, but you're going to go right back to it without the mindset work.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great analogy. It's about our comfort zone, isn't it? Because even though we all say, like, I really want to change, I want to lose weight, I want to make money, I want to have a business, I want this, I want this. The truth is, we do almost everything in our power to not change a single thing, to
Right.
keep us in our comfort zone, which is that
Safe and
thermostat,
protected,
and
even if
stay
we don't like it.
protected, and to stay protected and to stay where we are, because the other thing involves making some big changes, especially mentally. So that brings me to the issue of visibility. So the show She Rises, giving women visibility. I believe that for women in particular, becoming visible is often an issue. It's like it's scary, isn't it? It's scary to get on video. It's scary to become a coach and have to go out into social media. And I really want to explore that. So can you share your experiences with visibility and your relationship with visibility?
Well, I will say when I first started this journey where I really wanted to pursue the coaching arena, I just played with it because it was scary. And I I didn't I would judge myself because maybe, maybe I'm not the skinny person that they're expecting to see.
Mm,
Maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that. And so I would just kind of dabble a little bit. And when I finally got to the place where it was like I realized that as hard as I had struggled with my weight, there were other people that needed what I had, and it was time to get visible. And at the time, I had a coach that I was working with, and he explained this to me so well that it was like that was mind blowing. But he said, just imagine you're going down the interstate, and it's one of the you're going on this long trip, and it's the stretch of the interstate where there is nothing. And all of a sudden, you're realizing that your stomach's growling, you've got to go pee, there's all these things going on. And then you see this big billboard up, and it says, take this exit 10 miles down the road, Bob's Best Barbecue and Bathrooms. And it's like, oh, and you go and you get the barbecue and the bathroom, and then you're on your way.
mhm.
But what if Bob had not put his billboard out there? You would have been so hungry, had to pee so bad, and you wouldn't have gotten the help that you needed. And so, by us getting in front of the camera and sharing what we do, making videos, getting on the different platforms, and getting on things like this, we're putting our billboard out there so that the people that need us can see that we're there, and they can choose whether they want to get off the exit there and drive the 10 miles to where you're at.
I love that. What a great thing you learned from that coach.
Oh, I know, I know. I share it all the time.
I had something a little bit similar. It was I've been doing a lot of meditation all my life, and my meditation teacher said to me one day, why don't you start teaching and meditation? And I was like, I can't teach meditation. I'm still like learning how to meditate. And he said something that really stuck with me. He said, someone who knows 5 things can teach somebody who knows 4. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this is for everyone listening, where you're thinking of maybe becoming more visible, right? Because this is what we have to do with our businesses. What would you say, Vickie, that if you became even more visible, what is one thing you would do now to become even more visible right now, that your business, that would really help your business?
Well, it is going and doing speaking engagements.
Mm.
And so I will share that this upcoming Monday is my first in person uh, Toastmasters.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
I've
excellent.
done some online Toastmasters type of things, and it was great. But I realized I can get in front of the camera here. I don't have a problem with that. I can get and do videos. I don't have a problem with that. But put me in front of the public people in person. It's like that adrenaline starts flowing, and I get all nervous and all. And I've done a few, and over the last couple of years. And sometimes they go well, sometimes not so much. So I know there are so many things that I don't know about that. And so that's what I am actually adding to my arsenal. Plus, one of the other things I really want to do, but I just haven't really dove into it, is improv.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah, yeah.
sounds challenging. Congratulations for signing up for Toastmasters. I'm actually a Toastmaster graduate,
Oh,
and it's
yay.
Yeah, and it's also how I started on my speaking journey and
Oh,
inspiring
okay.
and getting in front of people. It is pretty much the cheapest and best course you can ever take. If anyone is listening to this, definitely check out Toastmasters. There's hundreds or thousands of them, right? All around the world. So
Yeah.
they're
And I
really
will say I had an excuse for a long time because one of
great.
my friends told me to do it. And
Yeah.
so when I looked, there was nothing that worked with my time schedule, nothing. And so it kind of goes how the universe kind of shows you something when it's time, right? So I felt like I really wasn't ready. But after I did a few of these online Toastmaster type things and I was a lot more comfortable with the process, I checked again. There was one at the perfect day and perfect time for me. And it was not there before, but you know
Interesting.
what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It was like she's not getting out of this one.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna get her. Vickie's coming to Toastmasters.
That's all
That's
right.
really exciting.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So one of the things that is really very important, I believe, and I write about this in my book in the last chapter, is something I call taking empty time. And empty time is not, it's not like emptying the dishwasher. It's not going on vacation. It's not those things. It's actually means taking empty time from your day-to-day life and spending time with yourself so you can go inside. Because I very much believe without taking that empty time, we can't really hear what it is that we really, really, really want. We can't hear, in your example with your clients, what your body is telling you to do or eat or feel. So can you share something that maybe you do in your own life that kind of brings you to that place of empty time so you can connect with yourself?
Yes. I have a couple. One of them is that I will sit in this big comfy chair that I have that reminds me of the some little cartoon character or whatever she was. She had a big comfy chair and it's huge and I just kind of squish into it and I'll set the timer for it depending on how much I have, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes or an hour, and I will just sit in silence
Mm,
and let my thoughts go without any judgment. I'll do that. And that was very beneficial to me. Um, but another thing is getting outside. I love going for a walk. And for at one point, I used to always listen to things when I was walking. But now I recognize how important it is to not have somebody's voice in my ear, just mine. And so I'll go for a walk. And that's when I come up with some of the great epiphanies of things to do or how to move forward or who to call and anything outside. And I love to draw and paint, and I don't quite do it enough. But not too long ago, I set my easel up out in the backyard, and it was a beautiful day, and the birds were singing, and I could just, the wind was blowing. It was just exquisite. And I just painted without any thing about time or any have tos. And I actually came up with quite a few things then that was just like, it just opens up my mind in
yeah.
such a way that I even used to do things like that when I was a little child. When I would get kind of like a little nervous about things, I would go sit on a log and write poetry.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. Yeah, because when we have like a problem or an issue, we really can't solve it with the same mental state that created that problem or that issue.
right,
Right? We have
right.
to get into another state, a state that's taps into our subconscious and into our feminine spirit and into our higher self. And what you do is beautiful, and I love those examples. So thanks for sharing it.
Well, thank
So
you.
Vickie, can you tell everybody how people can reach you? If you have a website, social media, do you have anything coming up that you want to share with?
Well, I have a program coming up, but I think the best way for people to connect with me right now is I have a free group that I am just wanting to put as many people in there that need what I'm giving. And it's a free group and it's on Facebook and it's called Making Lasting Change. And the way to get to that is vickiepoole.com. take you straight to that website. And there's questions that you have to answer. So please answer the questions, because that helps me so much to know what everybody collectively needs so that I can gear everything in that way. And then the Body Beautiful program that I've got coming up, I share a lot about that in that group. And so the main thing is, if you could come into the group and devour all this amazing content. This month we are for right now, we're doing a water challenge, which is just a beginning. It's like the tip of how to start listening to your body and how learning what it needs. And so there's a lot of that going on in there. So I would really like to invite people, the most is just to come into the group.
Great. So everybody listening, VickiePoole.com, and then you can find out about the group that way. So thank you, Vickie, so much. I'm so happy you are here today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being on She Rises and listening in. Also, if anybody is interested in coming onto She Rises, then you can email me. You can see it on the screen right now, leslie@lesliekuster.com. The purpose of the show is to give other women entrepreneurs opportunities to come on and share their lives, their stories, their business journeys, and their challenges. And I am just so excited to do this. This is so much fun. This is like my love child. I absolutely love doing this. I love talking to women entrepreneurs. So just email me if you're interested in coming on the show. There's been underneath the Get Your Free $1 Million Resource Guide. This is a resource guide that I created. You go to my website, lesliekuster.com, and you have there, I've listed the best books, the best podcasts, mentors, coaches, finance information. So definitely grab a copy of the free resource list. So thank you, everybody. Happy New Year, and see you next time.
Yes.